How's it going, everybody? This is Alex Caceres, and you're listening to Story of the Fight.
What is up, Will? Welcome,
what up?
everybody, to Story of the Fight. My name's Merab. That's my boy, Will. This is where we cover all things combat sports. Today, we'll be covering UFC 316, and we'll also be covering One Fight Night 32. But before we do, Will, I just want to remind everybody, you got to like, you got to subscribe, you got to hit that notification bell. It goes a long way. We're trying to reach 20,000 subscribers. We're steadily climbing, right? But we need y'all's help. Let everybody know that loves talking about combat sports. But you know what? They might not like watching on YouTube, Will.
Yeah, if you just want to listen, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube Podcasts for audio only. But yeah, YouTube is where it's at. We also live stream on Twitch. But YouTube, you get our interviews, you get the live streams with video. We can show you pictures, we can show you clips. You get to see our ugly mugs. We can show you in the chat, so you can participate with if you're watching on YouTube. Like Chummy Boy, shout out Chummy Boy. Hello. It's been a while. Yeah, there's been bad fights. There's been bad fights, but now there's fights worth talking about.
That's right.
But yes, and then if you don't want to, if you want to chat with us outside of the live streams, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Reddit, Story of the Fight on everything. Go to storyofthefight.com and it'll list it all. You can click through, hit subscribe, hit follow, do all that shit.
Look, man,
and then if you're not watching live,
in strong, Will, look at that.
You know, when there's effort on the fights, people come. You know what I mean? Oh, hello. Yeah. But yeah, if you're not watching live, we'll have timestamps for each fight that we're going to be covering. We're not talking about all of them, but you can click through and just skip to the fights you care about. If you're like, I don't want to listen about Joe Pyfer versus Kelvin Gastelum because it sucked. You're like, well, we got to talk about it, but you can skip it and go to Kevin Holland versus Luque, I guess.
That's an option. But look, man, we already have Chummy Boy that joined us. Austin says, let's go. Hope your guys' week went well so far. So good. James Kendrick, Math Prodigy, says, yo, hook 'em. I don't know if that's a Texas Longhorns hook 'em horns, but if so, I'm all in for it, dude. Rio, good to see you. Good to see you as well in the chat. And Evie, always down. Whenever there's blood in the weekend, Evie will join. And I'm saying it's SOF o'clock, absolutely. And then Ghost saying, hello, Ramiro and Will. Hello, Ghost.
Hey, shout out Ghost.
Shout out. Hey, Will, we got a lot to talk about, man. Let's get started. UFC 316,
Let's do it.
Dvalishvili versus Sean O'Malley. Holy smokes. Going into this, a little bit of a different lead up, huh, than the previous one?
Yeah, you know, you got to shake some things up. If you're O'Malley, I would imagine you're like, what do I do? Do I tell everybody I couldn't wrestle for the fight camp, or do I do all this other stuff he's talking about? I'm not gonna do the crazy hair colors. And you know, I haven't been smoking weed. I mean, he looked good, right? And at least you're addressing something.
Looked like
right?
He packed on more muscle.
Yeah, a little bit bigger.
Right.
But yeah, and you know, I was like all on board, and then especially like the first like 15, 30 seconds of the fight, I was like, oh, because O'Malley was like walking Merab down and like getting Merab to back up, and I'm like, well, Merab's not going to shoot with his back against the fence. I was like, maybe he did. This looks good from Sean. And then like 3 feints out of Merab, and he's like, oh fuck, and backs all the way to the fence.
Dude, yeah, and that's actually in my notes is for the first minute, there's pressure from O'Malley. Merab on his back foot. Literally 1 minute.
Yeah.
Because I took a look at the clock. I went back. I was like, oh, yeah, like it was like 4:02 still left. And then O'Malley was on his back foot.
Yeah.
And Merab was the one that was pressuring.
Yeah, and O'Malley looked good. His takedown defense looked good early. He stuffed a couple shots, and when he did get taken down that first time, you know, he got right back up. And they're crediting him, and it's like, yeah, but he's still getting to the shots, and that's the bad thing. You can't let Merab get to the shots because, yeah, you might defend the first 5, or the first, you know, if you're Aldo, you defend the first 20 or whatever the hell it is. It's not a matter of if you get taken down; it's a matter of can you stop that initiation. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like, you can't let him grab you because he will continue
getting
to
in that
do
situation altogether.
Exactly. Ghost in the chat. Technical takeaway from this is how bad O'Malley is at knowing where he is in the cage despite his good footwork, and Merab actually capitalizing on the cage despite the lack of fundamentals. The biggest thing for me is just Merab, and they go hand in hand, right? Merab having weapons once he gets them to the fence. I mean, it makes sense because his whole game is built on getting guys to the fence and keeping them there, whether it's chaining takedowns or, attacking them on the fence. But O'Malley is pretty good normally against lesser fighters of backing up against the fence, landing his shot, and escaping, And he did, I mean, to this picture's credit, this is close to the fence at least, and he did land a couple shots with his back against the fence, and he was able to escape. But Merab just had a lot of tools, and he knows how to corral people. He gets them to the fence, and he keeps them there when he needs to, and that's so impressive. Because how many times do we complain about that on Sunday? Of people backing someone up to the fence and then doing nothing with it.
Yep. No, absolutely. And Merab, man, Math Prodigy says Merab's pace and pressure is unreal. 100% agree. And to your point, there's only so many of those you could stuff, right? With somebody of Merab's caliber. Because, he gets him up against the fence at first round, gets taken down, but Sean O'Malley does such a good job of popping back up, using the cage to his advantage, right? Getting the underhook, fighting for the underhook. Look how happy Merab is in that picture. Just carrying Sean O'Malley.
Everybody's using the picture of him. Well, I think I have it also. This picture is the picture that's going around, right? It's awesome, obviously. But I like this one because you can see him just.
He looks so happy.
Merab in his element, dude.
I like to see happy people in the octagon.
Exactly.
But yes, so he did a pretty good job a couple times of getting back into striking mode. Merab did a really good job of knowing when he had O'Malley up against the fence. Like there's one time where O'Malley punches the midsection of Merab, and Merab knew, okay, well, we're up against the fence, so he can't go any further back. So he comes in with a 3-punch combo and lands a couple solid shots on. Is that it right there? That might be it.
Maybe.
And it lands a couple shots on O'Malley, knowing even with his footwork, there's not too far he can go, so I can extend this combo right now, and I'm gonna be able to at least land one of them. But he landed a couple of them. But
and part of
the fight IQ from Merab.
Yeah, and part of I think why he also had success with the hands, and everyone's like, oh, the threat of the takedown, obviously, right? But they were commending O'Malley's ability to stuff that initial shot up against the fence and hold him there, like you said, pummel all this stuff. But part of the reason he was able to have success with that is, I think, probably part of the reason why Merab was having so much success with his hands up against the fence. Because like Ghost says, when I say lack of fundamentals along the fence, I don't mean Merab's wrestling. It's more his striking mechanics where he puts his chin up and flails his hands. That normally does not work against Sean. But Sean was very good at defending those initial shots. But the cost of that is ready to drop your hands to push for underhooks, to down block on entries and things like that.
Yeah.
And Merab's able to take advantage of that. And it works well because he knows what he's doing.
So on one of those, Merab gets or takes down O'Malley again. O'Malley posts on that back elbow, trying to do something, trying to get back up. And if you want to walk us through that final sequence there.
Yeah, he actually kind of goes for like a front choke or like a ninja choke. And he actually did this earlier in the fight too, but O'Malley was able to like kind of gator roll out of it really quick. And he tried to here. He turns into him to give up his like belly, right? They go pretty much north-south, which is a good move to defend against that. Most people aren't going to be able to switch this here to almost like an Ezekiel. What did they call it? They call it a north-south choke, but it was kind of like an Ezekiel from north-south, which is sick as hell. I'm not going to say O'Malley did the wrong thing there. Like that was decent. It's just, I mean, also Merab, they literally said it like 3 minutes before this. Like, well, Merab's not a submission threat, so you can get to your knees, give up your back, get to your knees, and stand up.
And sub.
And then 3 minutes later, he chokes him out.
By the way, going into this, I believe both you and I picked Merab Dvalishvili to win this fight.
Yes.
And going in, Merab was also favored minus 300 to Sean's plus 240.
Look, it's an interesting matchup style-wise. It can be, and if they fought 10 times, I'm sure there's a fight or two where O'Malley does clip him on an entry or something like that and knock him out, maybe like 1 or 2 times out of 10. But the reality is, this fight should not have been made. Everybody was picking Merab. The odds, like you said, were probably heavily favored for Merab, but O'Malley just didn't deserve this title shot. And I'm an O'Malley fan, Yeah.
It's
just.
Yeah, and
look at this,
dude. I know.
I know people hate on this. I think it's sick, dude.
I think it's sick too, dude. So now you have Piotr Yan, Umar Nurmagomedov, Corey Sandhagen, Song Yadong, all in the top 5. If you're Sean O'Malley, look, dude, you probably beat or have the ability to beat a lot of these people in the top 5.
Yeah, I would
and
say
it's
so.
just that weird situation for O'Malley, right? Like, hey, any other time, no Merab, you're probably a champ, dude.
Yeah, probably.
You know,
Probably.
I don't know if he'd have a long reign, but he's somebody that's probably going to hold the belt longer than he did.
Yeah, I am kind of bummed that we never got to see O'Malley versus Sandhagen for the belt. I think that's just a fun fight. It would have been so fun. And now we're getting probably Sandhagen versus Merab. I don't know what Piotr Yan does if they do a Piotr versus O'Malley rematch. That was a banger the first time. I know it's highly contentious, that fight, but I liked it.
Hey, let's go to the chat real quick. Let's see here.
I think
James saying, do you guys consider John Wood a good coach?
Yeah, I think he's good. I think he's one of those guys that's a little unheralded. You don't hear too much about him as like people who go Nick Sick or they go Trevor Whitman. There's like the go-to guys, but I think he's doing a good job. And you know what I really like about John Wood is Merab goes to him. He doesn't. He kind of leaves Sarah-Longo, right, to go with John Wood. But John Wood doesn't have the ego where he's going to be like, okay, yeah, our guys are your corner now. We still got Ray Longo in the corner. We still got Aljo in the corner.
Yeah, that was pretty sick.
But Wood's there in the cage with him, and I think that's I think that shows a lot about John Wood. Most guys would be like,
and do you see him too, like calling everybody else over for the picture and stuff too, like.
Yeah, I think that's
good dude.
I think that speaks leagues for him.
It's a little.
I know Matt Serra doesn't corner him anymore, but I think that's a good sign. There's a lot of egos with coaching.
Oh yeah, there is. Yeah, they want the spotlight too, dude. We got Austin saying, legit so happy finally got the finish. He gets better and better every single time we see him. I don't know how people hate on the dude or how anybody thought this was going to go any different. Dude, Merab on the mic, so funny. Good. You know, he's like, I could be going out looking for a wife. I could be. I was like, wait, what, dude?
Yeah.
So funny, bro.
You know, O'Malley landed some clean shot. He landed his right hand a couple times where I was like, ooh, that's the shot that puts people out. And that's kind of why it's this matchup is kind of always compelling, even though it's like, Merab's probably going to win. There's a high percentage chance Merab's winning this fight.
Chance.
But that puncher's chance from O'Malley is nice.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Rio saying, do you know what that choke was called? All the BJJ nerds are going crazy over the name of this choke.
Yeah, it's not like a standard thing. I would say it's close to like an Ezekiel.
The Merab
north-south. Yeah, well, he called it the machine choke or something, right? And it's like, yeah, fuck it, might as well. Let's do it.
I'm fine with that, dude. All right.
Yeah.
And then James also saying, I think Merab versus Corey Sandhagen should be next because he hasn't fought him. I agree.
Math
Prodigy saying Sean versus Yan too.
People say it's controversial. Yeah. Right? I had Sean winning that fight. I know a lot of people don't. I don't think it's. If they gave it to Piotr, I think that's fine, It was a close fight, but it was a banger. And that for 5 rounds, dude, come on.
Yeah. That'd be sick. Yeah. Rio saying O'Malley versus Patchy mix. Well.
Ooh. I don't know. That right hand. That right hand that he's got landed on Merab. That right hand. This one right here. Could you imagine? Where is it?
Oh, man.
I mean this with zero disrespect, but this right hand will not miss in a Patchy mix matchup.
Oh,
and I mean that with no disrespect. I really like Patchy.
Austin saying bros before hoes. I think people over hate on Merab and Aljo's bromance. Yeah. Dude, it's a good. Give them their own show. Give them a little YouTube series.
Oh, it'd be so good.
15 minutes tops. You know, and just let them night in the town. Just let them go at it, dude, and see what happens.
The whole show is just Aljo trying to stop Merab from climbing like street lights and shit.
Math Prodigy not liking the booze from Merab. Unpalatable.
Yeah, there was some booze throughout this card that I was like, what are we doing? Even the Patchy Mix versus Bautista fight I thought was sick as fuck. And they're like booing halfway through and you're like, what? These guys are just trading shots.
Yeah.
Ghost says, Will, that's a good read with John Wood. He's very adaptable and just integrates with other teams instead of taking over. Not that I know anything about that. Yeah, exactly. And it's rare, Yeah. I know Ghost speaking from experience there a little bit, but that is rare. A lot of times there's gym drama. Oh my God.
It's real.
It's so real.
All right. Well, that's.
I think we can move on.
All for the main event,
real quick. These discussions are stupid, but I'd like to at least entertain it for a minute. Is Merab the bantamweight GOAT for you?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Let me pose this. I think the GOAT thing is stupid, right? Because there's so many definitions of like what it is.
Oh.
For me, it's two things. You could be the GOAT as in greatest of all time as far as accolades, resume, like legacy, and then there can be GOAT as far as like this performance is the best fighter I've ever seen at this weight class, like in this fight. I think in that regard, the Merab that we're seeing right now beats any bantamweight in history. TJ, I think, maybe gives him trouble. But as far as accolades, legacy, all that shit, I think Cruz is still my guy.
Cruz still your guy? Okay. Yeah. But I see what you're saying. Like, if you were to take like a prime Merab versus a prime TJ.
Yeah, which is all
like,
hypothetical. It's all bullshit.
Right? Yeah. But fun to talk about, nonetheless.
Fun to think about.
All right. Oh, and also props to Sean O'Malley. Stuck around for that interview. He didn't have to do that at the end.
Yes.
Yeah.
Long interview from Merab, and he hangs out.
And he still hung out there. All right. We also had Kayla Harrison versus Julianna Peña.
Real quick, I'm doing the slides, so I gotta just let me get there for just a second. Rich is out today.
No, there it is. There it is.
Right. So Kayla Harrison versus Julianna Peña.
Yes. Look, you know I'm somewhat of a Peña whisperer, dude. Because I said she was a dark horse of the division years ago when she beat our girl, why is it named?
Nunes?
Jesus. Nunes, yeah, Amanda Nunes.
You picked her to beat her.
I did. And then I predicted, but she loses to Nunes again when they rematch, and that happened.
Yes.
And then I said, but she gets it back, and she did.
Which happened.
And then I predicted Kayla Harrison takes this one, Will.
Yes, you did.
I don't know what it is, dude. I am going forward. I'm only going to be placing bets on Julianna Peña fights. That's it.
You got these ones on lock.
Dude, I'm batting 1,000 right now. I'm batting 1,000.
Oh, man.
But yes, going in, man, Harrison looking massive.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Looking massive. And we all know what she wants to do. She wants to clinch as soon as possible.
Yes.
And we already knew it was going to happen, whether it was the double jab, whether it was the lead left hook. She was using anything to just be able to close that distance. And as soon as she got in, she would just grab her, and then she did whatever she wanted.
Yeah, I mean, basically, the up kick was hilarious. I mean, fantastic job reffing, right, to take a point here. But goddamn, can we get rid of up kicks being illegal? It's so stupid.
Yeah,
it's so stupid.
Also, though, I like the point taken away right away.
Of course, Shaolin don't mess around, dude.
I loved it.
But
I loved it.
Yeah, very good. First round point deduction. So he does it.
And wait, hold on. Math Prodigy, come on. Caleb built like a wide receiver, dude. Come on. It's more like a linebacker. Okay? Not a wide receiver.
Well, you know what's crazy? I should have pulled it up. Maybe I'll pull it up right now. But there's pictures of Merab and Kayla like backstage after the event and stuff, like posing together with their belts. They're the same weight class. But they don't look like it.
Holy smokes.
I'll pull it up. Talk about the fight. I'll pull it up.
Yeah, so dude, again, clinches for me, like Evie talks about, just big judo takedowns all the time. And sometimes I don't even think like they're big judo takedowns. Like the way that she's just able to slip the leg in, right, for a simple trip, drags down, and from there it's just a bunch of top control, thinking she's just gonna ride out the round, right?
Yeah.
And then this is where you jump in, Will, with a BJJ talk.
You rolled too. I mean, Julianna was trying to attack off her back and stuff, but eventually,
I just like how you explain things.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, dude.
But yeah, she isolates the arm here, and you think, oh, maybe she's gonna try to hop off for the arm triangle, right? But the fence is kind of in the way, and you're like, well, if we could just keep isolating that, and then step over. DC said she's so strong she didn't even have to step over for it, but she did step over, which is hilarious. But man, the torque she got on that was nasty, and there's just no way you're not. Kimura's, they call it like the strongman position, right? It's like if you're strong enough, you get it. And she got it because she's very strong.
And she got it. Evie saying one trick pony. Like, it's not a bad trick, but it's all I see.
Yes. But as we've seen, one trick ponies have ruled that division in the past.
Yes.
You know?
Yes. And look, and props to her for, okay, I see it.
Maybe they're not. She's not as big as I thought.
But
They're the same weight
props
class.
to Harrison for not using the classic, like
Head and arm throw.
normal, which we
Yeah.
tend to see in these divisions quite often. And look, it all goes down. It happens, and Amanda Nunes is in the crowd. She says, "You know what's up next? We're gonna find Amanda Nunes." Also, the guards, right? The security. What are you doing, holding the female goat back? And look, she's so nice too. She's like, "Sorry, I can't go up." Like she's telling, right? Like, because Harrison's like, "Come on, Amanda, like come up
Yeah.
here." And Amanda's like, "This smaller guy that I could beat up right now is telling me I can't go up."
Yeah.
And then
she
Joe
head and arm
Rogan's
throws
like,
him.
"What? Let her in! Like, what are you doing?" And so if I goes in,
do you think it's because Trump's there and there's like secret, like there's like
no,
why can't I think of the Secret Service
Secret
and
Service?
shit? Yeah, there's just
No.
extra cautious
No,
about
it's just
shit.
somebody doing too much, man.
Yeah.
And then look, both of them get up there, and it's the nicest shit talk in history. I love it.
Yes.
It's something different from what we're used to. And even Harrison says, "Look, she's the best of all time, and I've said since the beginning that I want what she has. I have the belt now. She has the legacy. Like, let's put it on the line." And Amanda's like, "Congratulations. You're such a nice lady. I would love to have brunch with you and also fight." And that was it. And that was it.
Maybe
just off of that, I was hyped, dude.
Yeah. Maybe they will have brunch before the fight, and then it'll look just like Nunes versus Peña 1. Where just
But dude, look, I was pretty hyped to see this. Based off of what I saw, though, Nunes knocks her block off.
She's 37.
I saw very little, but I saw very little head movement. And one of the last things to go, Will, is power. And I saw very little head movement from Harrison as she's closing the distance. And maybe she just didn't respect Julianna Peña's power. I don't know. Maybe she has some of that Mike Tyson in her that we just didn't see. But as she was closing the distance, she left her neck up in the center line. And if Amanda Nunes just lets one ride, dude, puts one right in her chin, I think she puts her to sleep.
I mean, yeah, she could. I could see that happening. But man, the jury's kind of out a little bit on Nunes just because she's been out for so long. She's 37. I was about to go. Sorry, put it in the chat. Kayla should just dipping jab Nunes in whatever stance she's in. I mean, that was the thing, right? The first time she fought Peña just throws this dipping jab like she's BJ Penn, and Nunes is like, "What the fuck is happening?" She couldn't get through it, and so the rematch, she just goes southpaw, so now the jab's gone, which is fucking like, wait, did you not? She never overcame that. She just switched southpaw to take it away, and it's like, well, if she's southpaw, I don't know. I don't know, man.
You think Harrison beats Peña?
Look, she's active. She's younger. She's bigger. Well, maybe not bigger. Nunes looks pretty big here, but
pretty big.
Bigger than most of what Peña Nunes faced. I don't know. Being out that long, 37 years old, it's a lot for me.
Oh no, dude. She's been lifting babies. She's been working nonstop. And Ghost says Nunes went into the Peña rematch with a different stance instead of actually dealing with it with feints and cagecraft. Maybe that's what she's been working on the entire time. She's like, "Look, guys, I'm gonna have to retire, and during my retirement, I'm just gonna work some more feints. We're gonna figure out this dipping jab."
Look, dude, I've been trying to this new Mario Kart, dude. The moon rallies on the Knockout Tour, dude. They have different rallies, right? And I got gold in all of them, but the fucking moon rally is like I just keep getting silver, and I'm like, what the fuck? And I just kept at it.
Did you try changing stances?
No. I did change cards. I went back to my boy Donkey Kong, and I finally got it. So maybe that's her with dealing.
Oh,
with
you're a
the
Donkey
jab.
Kong guy, huh?
Of course, come on, dude.
Yeah, dude, that's fun. That's fun. All right. Anything else on Harrison versus Peña?
Who had it? There was a comment in here. James said, I heard a weird idea. Nunes, Harrison, and Val versus Weili, main and co-main respectively. Down for it, yay or nay? Honestly, I would be.
Yeah.
Sounds kind of sick. I know they might not do it because of the target audience that the UFC usually draws or the demographic that the UFC caters to. They might not want to do that, but I think it would be fun.
Yeah. All right. Hey, we'll move on to the next one, man. We had Joe Pyfer versus Kelvin Gastelum. Kelvin coming in looking a little pudgy, just a little bit.
I mean, it's Kelvin at middleweight.
Yeah,
So
yeah, dude. But look, I've seen
no,
Kelvin
this is
at middleweight
Kelvin. Don't
before.
act like you're like, whoa, Kelvin doesn't look in
No.
shape here.
But dude, he looks more not in shape than before at 185. I'm just saying. I was like, okay. But look, dude.
He's an
Pyfer
old
came in.
vet now, dude. How old is he now? He's got to be 36, 37,
Here,
right?
I'll check right
No,
now.
he's 33,
dude.
I think.
Is he really? Oh my
Yeah,
god,
dude.
he is only 33. I feel like he's been around forever.
Yeah, I mean, he got in young.
He did.
But
Remember when everybody thought like Uriah Hall was just gonna run through him, dude, in the Ultimate Fighter, and then we're like, oh wait,
yeah.
Uriah Hall doesn't know how to wrestle.
Remember when he almost knocked out Israel Adesanya?
Oh, dude,
now,
one of the best fights
now
ever.
here he is. And now here he is, not able to beat a guy who literally has a right hand and throws it maybe 8 times around.
Dude, that must have taken so much out of him, though, that fight.
The first round? Or the Gastelum one?
No, the Adesanya fight. Gastelum versus Adesanya.
Oh, yeah, come on. That aged both of those guys.
Oh,
That's
my
a tough
God.
one.
But yes, look, we have Pyfer. You mentioned Joe Pyfer's right hand. He lands it, drops him right early in the fight. Gastelum with really impressive recovery, man.
All-time
Really
great
impressive
chin,
recovery.
dude.
Dude, like how did...
It's crazy.
It sounded so loud. One of my problems with Gastelum, dude, like he has these same feints, right? Like he comes in with his hands out a little bit and he like down up
Yeah.
over and over again. And he's been doing this for so many fights in his career. And if you're Pyfer, you're like, oh, okay, like I'll be able to time this dude down. I feel like I have this rhythm down already just from watching film. And so like let's change it up a little bit. You know?
Let's change it up. It's tough when he's fighting. When he fights a real middleweight, someone who, like, you could argue Joe Pyfer could go up to light heavyweight. And Kelvin, we know, should be. He's a welterweight. Kelvin's a welterweight. So that's always going to be tough for him to get in. So he has to feint his way in. And unfortunately, he really only has one entry as far as, like, when he actually commits to a strike. He's got the same entry. So if that's the only entry, that's kind of all your feints too. You know what I mean? Because your feints are tied to your actual weapons. Otherwise, like if he's feinting like spins and shit, no one's gonna buy on that, you know. So you want to feint the stuff you actually throw because then they're like, oh, here's that right hand that I know is coming. Oh shit! Oh no, it's just a feint. But you know what I mean. So it's tough. He's a limited fighter.
Hey, shout out Math Prodigy, by the way, saying gotta go, guys. Always a great show. Take care, gentlemen. You as well, Math Prodigy.
Yeah, thanks for joining.
Absolutely.
But yeah, we don't need to spend too much time on this. I mean, Jesus Christ, the fight was horrible.
I think he got dropped 3 times in the first round or something like that. Then after that, Gastelum's like decides to throw back. He lands a couple big shots in the third round.
Third round was a good round for Gastelum.
Yeah. Pyfer just extending the left arm, almost like a big brother does to a little brother, just like putting his hand up on his chest or on his face, like you can't get close, right?
Yeah.
Which seemed to work. It puzzled Gastelum. Gastelum's like, what? And he smacks his hand down. So he puts it back up. And he smacks the hand down again. He puts it back up. And then he punches the hand down. And Pyfer's like, look, still up. And so dude, it was just like, that was pretty much the fight.
The other funny part was second round, Pyfer's clearly just like, I don't know what happened. If he just had like an adrenaline dump, if he gassed out trying to finish him, if he just was like, I don't know. All he could throw was the right hand. He kept missing it in the second round. He landed him a couple times, but it was like, man, he barely threw anything. And I'm like, is he just exhausted? Is he like done? And then in between the second and the third, he's talking to his corner. He's like, but I'm up, right? And Dean's like, yeah, I think you won 1-2. And he's like, okay. He's like, but you need to go for the third because like the second was arguable. Yeah. And then he's like, but I won the first 2, right? And I'm like, oh dude, he's done.
God, dude.
And then he's like, let me know when you're at 2:30. And they're like, what? And then during the fight, DC's like, he asked, let me know when 2:30. Like, what? Like, I don't know what that means. Like, kind of weird. And then right at 2:30, he shoots a takedown that Gastelum stuffs. And I was like, oh no, he's done. Because like, I'm sure in his mind, he's like, at 2:30, I'm going to take this guy down. And I'm going to hold him down for the rest of the round because that's all I got.
Yeah.
And when that didn't work, I was like, Gastelum, please go forward. And it just wasn't enough.
It wasn't enough. All right, we'll move on.
Yeah. Ghost says, not gonna lie, I skipped this one to finish an animation. Shout out Ghost Animation.
Can't blame you for that, man. We had Mario Bautista versus Patchy Mix. Patchy Mix debut, right, in the UFC.
Yes.
They tossed him right in there against the ranked opponent. Mario Bautista getting a ton of boos as he's walking out. Not a fan favorite.
Not a fan favorite after the Aldo fight, obviously. But joke's on all of them. I never actually watched the Aldo fight. Keep it a secret. Because that was one I couldn't watch live. And then when I heard what happened, I was like, I'm just not going to watch that. I don't need to watch that. So my mind has never been tainted on Mario Bautista. Because
lucky.
This he's good, dude. He's very good. That gym is good. The MMA labs, O'Malley's great. Marcus McGee's is fucking sick. Bautista puts together some cool shit. And I never got my head clouded with hatred of watching him wall install Aldo for the whole fight. And I just will never watch the fight. So that way I don't have to see that happen to my boy. And then I also don't have to be pissed off at Bautista because I like the
win-win.
guy. I don't want to be pissed.
It's a win-win.
It's a win-win.
Yep.
I still picked Patchy Mix.
You still what?
But I still picked Patchy Mix. But I thought if any underdog was going to pull through, I thought Bautista has the best chance. I thought the odds were a little bit spread because of people's hatred. And they're like forgetting how good this guy actually is, you know? I thought he was probably like the best value if we're talking like betting terms. Like I'm
Patchy Mix minus 170, Bautista plus 140.
Yeah, see, plus 140, that's not... I feel like this should have been a lot closer, especially considering his Patchy's debut. He fought a lot of smaller guys, kind of. Bautista's like a legitimate guy at the weight class, right? Hey, shout out Juice Man 562. Oh, Sally lost. All is good. Let's go, Merab. Yes.
Oh, Sally. I think that's the first time I hear that one.
That's the first time I've heard that.
That's good. But yes, look, dude, I don't know what it was. Did it look like Patchy Mix had concrete shoes on?
Dude, he's shown a little bit of that in the past. Ghost, we'll get to your comment in just a sec, but he's showed a little bit of that in the past. But man, did he look stiff, dude! It looked like all his discs have been fused in his back, and not just the upper body, like you said. Like from his waist up was just a board.
Yes.
And then his feet, it's like, dude, he looked like. I mean this with no disrespect, Patchy, but it looked like Dan Henderson levels of stiffness towards the end of Dan's career. Like final Dan Henderson fights, look at that. He could barely even turn and stuff. And man, he was just sitting there, dude. It was brutal.
Yeah, it was brutal to watch, man. And for anybody that didn't get to see Patchy Mix before in this debut, they put him up against a ranked opponent right off the bat. They're probably thinking, like, how is this guy a champion in Bellator? And why are we putting him up against Mario Bautista right off the bat?
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing was just that the right hand from Bautista, he would just go body, chest, headshot. He just kept mixing up the level of that. And Patchy was just like this, just looking right at it, just and then ooh, and then ooh.
Right on the lips, dude. And the chin over and over again.
Over and over. And I was just sitting there and I was like,
head movement!
Oh, no.
Head movement! Head movement!
Is that the new sound you got it?
That's the new sound I got in there. I watched it last night. I was like, I need to clip that. But damn, dude. I mean, it sucks. But he actually did land on Bautista a decent amount. But it's just no power on it because like it's like I said, he was just so stiff that he wasn't really putting any like power into the shots other than like the step up knee, which is a good move, right? Especially if someone's going to your body with the straight a lot because they're ducking down the knee, they might meet the knee. But it's like his reaction time was low, like they're slow. I don't know, kind of an interesting one.
But look, Bautista had a very I thought it was an exciting performance from Bautista. He looked very sharp and he was still booed at the end. Look, dude.
And you know what's crazy is they're like multiple times through the fight, they're like, man, this is such a big moment for Bautista. If he can get a win over a name like Patchy Mix, like that's a huge deal for his career, his trajectory. And then he wins, and they're like, don't even. And then they're like, don't even interview the guy. It's like the UFC is telling the broadcast booth, hey, mention how big this could be for Bautista. He does it. He pulls it off. And then they're like, but don't let him use it as a platform. What the hell, dude?
I think
crazy.
Dana was also pissed about the way they fought.
Probably.
100%.
Probably.
All right, we'll move on, man.
Real quick, let's just see what the chat's saying too.
okay.
Ghost, I like how some people thought that my Patchy mix slap the lead hand and body kick was a positive post about him when it's pointing out an exploitable habit that Mario took advantage of beautifully. Yes. James says, might get blocked for this, but I seriously wanted Patchy to lose because Tatiana Suarez fans are weirdos, and I wanted to get the mixed family to go 0-2 this year. Damn. I don't hold it. I would never hold someone's fans against, and no one's going to block you, though. Rio says, I posted this on the SpaceX app. The SpaceX app. But it turns out, I never heard that either. Turns out Suarez and Mix are allergic to right hands to the body. I mean, God, he was just
didn't move, dude.
Frozen.
Just
looking
didn't
at it.
move.
Yeah.
And then Ghost
God.
appreciating your soundboard use, by the way, Will. Good stuff. Signs off. And all right, we'll move on. And we had
Trust me, I back.
I had to switch to the next page for that one.
Anderson Silva. We had Kevin Holland versus Vicente Luque. Going into this, I believe Holland was favored as well. Yeah, minus 280
Yes, of course.
for Holland,
I mean,
plus 230 for Vicente Luque. This gets
Luque's brain
Holland
was
into the top 10, right? I think.
Was Luque ranked?
I think Luque was ranked. Let me double check just to make sure. Vicente Luque breaks him into the top 15. Vicente Luque was number 14.
Wow. Well, yeah, good for Holland. This is just, I just don't really need to see Luque fighting anymore. But in all honesty, he took some big shots in this one. This elbow that Holland landed was fucking
massive.
Nasty. And he ate it. It was swelled up immediately on the side of his head. And he brought the fight to it. Luque's just so sick, dude. It just sucks to see, like,
he's game all the time.
And I just worry because of the whole brain bleed thing. It's like, even if he's still capable of winning some of these fights, right? It's like, I just don't know if we need to even see it. Like, I don't want to risk. It's like the Macy Barber. She had a seizure. Maybe she didn't. I don't know what. They don't know. They're like, I don't know what happened. And like, well, it sounds like probably a seizure. If you're like even questioning it, it was probably a seizure, right? There's not a lot of things like seizures. And then her coaches are like, it wasn't her call. We are the ones that called it off. And it's like, well, if she had a fucking seizure, then like, why did they even have to call it off? Like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
That's a cancellation. You know, it's not like, well, maybe this will be fine. No, if your brain's bleeding, maybe you will be fine. But do we really need to? No, it's not. We don't need it.
100%, James. Post brain bleed, Luque is not fun to watch. Not because I don't like watching him, but I want him to live a little bit longer.
Exactly.
And it's so weird because, look, James, Will, it's weird because I also, like, that's in the back of your mind the entire time.
Always.
You're like, dude's brain was bleeding. And then when you see Kevin Holland land a big right, you see him land that elbow, all I can think about is like, dude, I hope he's okay.
Yeah, it's like,
it's so
what
weird.
are we doing?
Yeah.
Which is why I love to see this. This is much better than a knockout.
Yeah. But yes, Holland lands Darce.
It was an anaconda. They kept calling it a Darce. Yeah.
Okay. Was anaconda, and with those long ass arms that Kevin Holland has, and even he said, he's like, dude, with those long arms, and if I lock it, like, it's hard for people to get out of it, right?
Yes.
He traps Luque's leg.
Perfect.
And such a good job. Luque actually hung in there for a little bit after he had sunk it in. I was like, oh, I don't know if he's gonna get out of this, and then he did.
That's a legit sub, dude, because Luque is good on the ground. He's a nasty submission artist himself, but I know sometimes being good at offensive submissions doesn't necessarily mean you're also good at defending them. That goes with all things, right? It's like, oh, this guy's like,
good point.
Like, certain guys are very good at a certain technique offensively, but that doesn't mean they're unable to get hit with that same technique defensively, right? And it goes for submissions too. But you can see him doing all the right things to try to get out of the choke, but it was just not going to happen.
All right, man. Let's move on. We're running short on time here. We also had Joshua Van versus Bruno Silva.
Yes. Fucking dude. Josh Van is so sick, dude. He's so cool. Every time he gets booked, I'm like, let's fucking do it. They're giving him fun matchups too. The Charles Johnson fight was a setback, but it was a fucking banger. And Charles Johnson, I think, is very cool too. But dude, this guy is the epitome of why flyweight is one of my favorite divisions. He exemplifies flyweight. You know what I mean?
The speed, his hands were phenomenal, man. The low kicks from Silva were working early.
I like
but
that.
a very good way to counter those low kicks is every time somebody lands one of those low kicks, just blast them up top, man, really quickly. He had a beautiful sequence to finish off the fight at the end after he hurt Bruno Silva, right? Like there's one where like I want to say he throws like a lazy jab, Bruno Silva does, and Van
he's beat up by this point.
Goes to the body.
Yeah.
And it backs Silva up, and then he comes in, takes some time, very patient. And that's something that I really love about Van. Like he's not crashing in all reckless, very patient.
And he was
just piecing him up.
Used to. Yeah, and he used to crash in like that.
Growth, dude.
Growth.
How old is he now?
I mean, he's like what, 23, 24?
He's
yeah,
23
Jesus
years
Christ,
old.
man. Yeah, and you know, Bruno Silva brought it, dude.
His prime.
Yeah, no, not even there. He's a couple years out of his prime.
Jeez.
You know?
All right.
But yeah, and Bruno Silva was game. You know, it takes two to tango, and this dude, he was cracking. The problem though is like he would try to like, maybe it's just because he was getting lit up so much with like fucking Dragon Ball Z combos that he was like, I need to just land this one shot, and because he's throwing these combinations, he's open for it. So I'll land this big shot, and then he'd throw this big shot, and then, but Josh Van is like slipping or he's dipping, and then he's adding like 3-4 punch combinations on you after your one big shot because he left this big opening. And dude, his ability to just seize that opening and really take advantage of it and not be like, I'm going for a Joe Pyfer knockout shot on this counter. It's like, no, dude, I'm gonna fucking angle in on you, hit you with like a 3-punch combination, and then angle out the side door. And you're like, fucking hell, dude, it's so cool.
I know, man.
Really cool.
Awesome.
You know who he called out? Did you see that?
Who did he call out?
Brandon Moreno.
Oh yeah.
Come on, dude.
I know, dude. He's savage.
Make it happen.
Let's slow down a little bit, though. No, let's slow down.
No, make it happen. Fuck it.
No, dude. I don't want to see him fight Brandon Moreno. I like both these guys.
Well, yeah, but that's how it goes sometimes.
But also, it's a fight game.
Yeah.
All right. And I think the last fight we're gonna cover was let me see. Was it Ariane Lipsky? No. Was it Waldo Cortez Acosta? Not a chance. It was Jusong Yu versus Saragih, man. Whew.
God damn. And thank you, UFC, for posting a cage side footage of this so we can actually watch this knockout because it was beautiful. So let's watch that first.
Dude,
and you might think
back, times that
you might think
short left hook.
Like, what even was it? What happened? Well, we can show you also. Also, the walkout was sick. We'll talk about that in a second. But he feints and commits and makes Jeka come in labored with his big right hand to try to just. He's like, oh, there's my opening, bam, and he just fucking hops back, catches him with his left hook, just fucking beautiful as he's running into it, leaning over his lead leg, adding so much momentum into the punch, creating that car crash, right, the head-on collision. Turns his head around, and then just fucking sleeps him, dude. Oh my god.
And then he goes in with one big right to the ear.
That was gnarly.
Yeah, that was. But look, and I'm so glad that DC called this out too, because this is what I immediately thought of, which was Manny Pacquiao versus Juan Manuel Marquez, because it was very similar.
It was very similar. I mean, the way he falls is just fucking. God, what a highlight, man! This is up there right now for a knockout of the year, man. This was.
I agree.
This was so sick.
It's just something so smooth and technical. It doesn't have to be something super flashy, right?
But just look at him here. That's good, dude. That's not like tall man defense, you know? Yeah. So good. This is his feet are underneath him. He's ready to counter. He's hopping back. Like, God. Ghost says Yu has good counters. Even in the regionals, he's got an eye for counters. God damn. And Austin saying that follow-up shot was super brutal. Was so brutal and super necessary. Yeah. Was it? Right to the ear, dude. Shout out to Ben Askren. Hope he's doing all right. Oh, but yeah, this guy is one to watch. Immediately on the top of everybody's list, probably to check out. Walking out with the Cranberries, and they're like, normally, you know, when someone walks out to somebody else's iconic walkout song, it's kind of like, kind of lame. But when you're actually the guy's protege and you're with him and he's one of your head coaches and like your mentors, yeah, you get to do it. And he's like Zombie Jr. is his nickname. I mean, come on, dude. I love it, dude. So good. Yeah. Well, all right. Moments of silence. Well, I think that was the last fight we're going to cover. Oh, God, the timing. Moment of silence on this. Ben Askren alive. As of right now, I believe so. No. He's he's unresponsive in the hospital. It's fucking terrifying, dude.
Yeah.
And say what you will, I know there's lots of
hope
jokes.
he pulls through.
And I told you too. It's like I know a
Yeah.
lot of people joke about Ben Askren, obviously, because I mean he's a comedic guy himself, so he rolls with those punches. But god damn, man, it's fucked up, dude.
Severe pneumonia is what he's battling right now, man. So I
Severe
really hope
pneumonia,
that
unresponsive.
yeah, that he pulls through. And who knows?
Yeah.
I don't know if it's an induced coma right now to help his body fight. I don't know. I don't know enough information to talk about it. I just hope he pulls through.
100%. And you know, like I said, say what you will about his UFC run or even the post UFC, like the boxing shit, but like the fact of the matter is the dude his name is like cemented in combat sports history, especially mixed martial arts. Like what he did, you know, his pre-UFC run was fucking impressive, dude. Very impressive. He's the reason DJ even goes to 1, which is a huge thing. Like it's, you know, he's cemented himself. And it does suck to see someone like that. And he seems like a great guy, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. All right.
Horrible.
Well, what fights did we lose out on?
Yes, as far as like the fights we lost, moment of silence, Johnny Walker versus Murzakanov. Probably dodged a bullet there. We didn't cover the fight, but I would imagine Walker's getting KO'd in that fight. Bautista was supposed to fight Chito Vera. Chito pulls out. So Bautista takes Patchy mix. It worked out. Gaziv was supposed to fight Spivak. God, I wish that fight happened instead because I fucking hate Acosta. Chaos Williams was supposed to fight Uros Medic first. Medic pulls out. They get another guy. I'm not even going to try. Albert.
Tadevosian?
Nailed it. And then so then he gets the man Gustafsson. I'm a big fan of him. We didn't cover the fight, but I really like the guy.
Oh, the worst thing that could have happened for Williams, I think.
Oh yeah.
Gustafsson just did whatever he wanted with him, man. It was rough.
Oh yeah.
He looked beat up. Like as he's walking back to his corner after the fight, Chaos just looked beat up, dude. It was rough.
Yeah, I like that guy. He got a lot of boos, but I liked it.
Who got monies?
Yeah, bonuses. Merab got a bonus for first submission win in the UFC, right? Or maybe he said 2, but first finish in a long time. Kayla Harrison got one for beating Peña. Kevin Holland got one. Kelvin didn't get one. Kevin Holland got one. Yeah. And then Jusong Yu got one for the knockout.
Good stuff. All right. Well, hey,
that's it.
Decent event for UFC 316. Now it is time to move on. We will now be covering One Fight Night 32. So thank you, everybody, for joining us. In case you're just now tuning in, my name is Merab. That's my boy Will. This is where we cover all things combat sports. Right now, we'll be covering One Fight Night 32. Right, Will?
Yes, and you know, if you're not watching this live, we'll have the timestamp so you can skip through, and we're only talking about some of the fights. We're not covering every single fight. We're a little pressed for time, and there was a lot of shakeups on this card. A lot of fights fell off, so we're not going to talk about all of them. But the main one, Nakrob versus Jaosuayai. Oh my god!
It was quick.
Oh my god! It was a quick one.
Are you gonna be able to show it?
Yes, and thank you, One, for letting us show clips because they have a great angle on this one. The fight was quick.
Yes.
Jaosuayai comes at him quick, hurts him bad with the high kick, and then just foot on the gas for the rest of it. I think it was like it was under a minute, right? This knockout.
And lands a kick right to his face.
Yeah, I mean, look at this shit. Let me pull this up.
And again, if you're only listening, highly recommend watching on YouTube so you can actually see some of the pictures or footage that Will shares. It makes it a lot more fun if you do so.
Definitely. So check this out. It all starts with the right high kick. Bam, there's the right high kick. Stuns him. Left hook, uppercut, left hook, uppercut. Drops him.
And look, he's like, what, dude? Puts his arms up, right? He's like, you want some of this?
Ooh.
Nakrob, dude. Just
look at Jaosuayai, dude.
Comes a flying kick, which misses, but he lands left, right, another right. He's wobbled. Boom, kick to the face.
Dude, that high kick to end it. The way he waits, he's like, now. Oh my god. I think it's like it does remind me kind of DJ versus Moraes the second time when DJ knocked him out because he rocks him hard, right? And then as he's falling,
patient,
and then now
timed it.
Oh my god, dude!
Beautiful.
And we have pictures too for this. Let's see.
James saying, "Will you guys go to Thailand for one of these events?" Dude, that's the dream, man.
Oh, that's
One of
the
these
dream.
days.
Hey, shout out Blunderbub too. Our boy Ricky had to work hard Friday. Yeah, Ricky repped a lot of them. They didn't get Olivier out there. But yeah,
Busy.
let's see. So that's the right high kick that hurts him originally.
Right
He
behind the
stays
ear.
on him. The uppercuts were nasty.
Yes.
Dude, this shot.
This is where he stands
my
up, right?
God.
And he had his arms up like, yo, what?
Yeah, he's like, oh. I thought this-
Jaosuayai is like, dude, you ready for this?
Yeah, I mean, just
Also,
so ready.
look at his thighs. Oh my God.
Yeah,
Can you imagine the power that he generates with his kicks?
Oh my God. And dude, so he stays on him. He hits him
Oh,
hard.
what a
And as
picture.
he's fading away, he's leaning right into this high kick. And you're like, oh man, I wish there was a shot from the other side. There it is.
Wow.
I mean,
And dude, his head bounces off the
dude, and
ring.
Ricky tried to catch it. Props to Ricky.
did.
He almost caught it.
He did.
But god
too
damn,
slow.
what a performance. This gets
Yeah.
bumped to the main event after Alicia falls off, or sure Cohen pulls out of the fight with injury. So that's
And
the
he took
title fight's
advantage of
gone.
it.
So
Jaosuayai did.
yeah, sees the opportunity. He gets the $50,000 bonus. Mitch is all yelling it with his kid too. Like, what a cool moment. It was just so
Yeah.
wholesome after such a violent finish. It was like
So good, dude.
straight to 100. The fight starts and it's just murder, 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 murder. And now we're high fiving kids, giving them $50,000. Like, oh my god, dude.
Blunderbub saying must have
So
been smoking
sick.
there or something during that interview. Small tear emoji. Happy tear. Yeah.
And it was his mom's birthday. How cool is that?
Oh, that's perfect, dude. Doing it for mama, you
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah, and Anonymous says Jaosuayai should fight Rod Tang for the title. He has performed more consistently than Nongo, in my opinion. Yeah, it's tough though with Nongo beating Kong Torni. And you know what's crazy? Kong Torni beats Jaosuayai, and then he goes on like a 4-fight win streak to get this fight after losing that one. Now he's 5 wins since that one in a row. 4 of
Yeah.
them by knockout.
Wow.
God damn, dude.
Savage, dude.
Guy's on a
What a
roll.
run.
Yeah.
Anything else on that main event? It was a quick one.
It was quick, not much to talk about. And look, like I said, we're short on time, so we're actually gonna skip the co-main. It was a good fight, but yeah, we just gotta skip it, unfortunately. Ali
We're gonna
versus
go with,
El Jamari. But the problem is, we do need to talk about this briefly.
Oh yeah.
The fight's over, and they hinted about this. I know Nick put an article out. Shout out Bangkok Post, but that they're like, hey, this might be a title eliminator. So they bring Prajanchai in. He's got the belt, and they're like doing the face off, and I'm like, no, don't do this. At least like consider it. This is now moving past considering, it seems. And it's like, dude, where's John DeBella at? He's got the interim belt. Prajanchai's out here. He's gonna defend the Muay Thai belt and not go back to the kickboxing belt that he took off DeBella when DeBella's got an interim belt. Like, we can't do this. Come on.
Yeah.
Look, I love you guys, but don't do this.
Yeah.
Don't take this away from my boy.
And DeBella was also like, what the fuck?
Yeah, he posts. He's like, I guess he doesn't want the rematch.
Poor DeBella, dude. Our boy, shout
Yeah.
out, by the way, John DeBella.
Yes. Anonymous
great
says,
dude.
I don't think Alif is ready for Prajanchai quite yet. Prajanchai should fight DeBella first. Agreed.
All right.
Yeah, I was talking to John a little bit, and I'm like, dude, I'm sorry. And he's like,
Yeah,
what can I
yeah.
even do?
Yeah, I hit him up too.
He's such a
and
class
just-
act.
he responded with, bro, I don't know.
Aw. Yeah.
Yeah, but all right. Diego
We can move
Paez
on.
versus Johan Ghazali, our boy Jojo.
Jojo is a tough one, man. Paez showed out, man. I'll be honest. I know a lot of people are knocking Ghazali here.
Are they?
Yeah, they're saying like, oh, well, it's what happens when there's there's
Hype
a lot of
behind you?
hype.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got a lot of hype. You're a young guy.
with the
You're
territory.
cocky. Yeah, you're boastful, right? Because you're getting these crazy knockouts, and it's part of the package, right? There's a persona, all this stuff. So the flip side of that is when you lose, people are ready to jump on the hate bandwagon, I think.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, Anonymous says the underdog won. This was a good performance by Paez, man. I was
Dude, his
very
head
impressed
movement was
with
really
Paez.
good. Johan was doing pretty good when he'd go first,
Mhm.
right? Like he was landing some solid shots when he'd go first. But Paez did not settle. and he always wanted
Never.
to recover and land something right after JoJo would land something.
Yes. Which is fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely. And the one thing I did respect about JoJo is the urgency was there, right? Second round, he's like, I'm down, urgency. Third round, he was down. He came in, showed even more urgency. It wasn't for a lack of effort, that's for sure.
It was not a lack of effort. And Chummy Boy does have a point here. He says, yeah, because JoJo fight the same way, chasing instead of boxing him in the corner. Yes. Like to your point, he kept coming forward. He was trying, but there's some methods he could have used to maybe try to, like you said, Paez wasn't settling. And part of that is because Ghazali maybe allowed him to a little bit without cutting him off, without trapping him, all this stuff, right? And like, it's tough. I mean, he's young, right? And he had such a rapid ascension where he was just melting dudes with big shots. And it seems like it's tough because when you have that type of kill shot and you're used to dropping people with it, and then you're like, but I need to grow as a fighter because I'm young, I need to grow. And you start to be a little bit more, you start adding more technical stuff, and maybe you lose that side of you a little bit. I'm not saying this is what's happening to JoJo. I'm not trying to like make excuses for him or anything, but he's just so young in this game that he still hasn't really figured out his rhythm. And it sounds crazy to say because he had such a hot start and the rhythm was there, but I don't know if that's sustainable rhythm. And I don't think he's found like a sustainable game, if that makes sense.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Like a style? You mean like a style that actually works against multiple rather than just blitzing?
Yeah, and he tried to make some adjustments because Paez was doing a good job of just getting in the pocket, similar to Josh Van, really. Getting in the pocket, he started throwing elbows, knees to the body, exits with a leg kick, like where he's stepping in, landing a couple shots, and then he's exiting. And you can see Ghazali would try to meet him with an elbow here and there and things like that. But you could just see Paez in the clinch too was just kind of like controlling him very well, setting him up for knees to the body, and really smothering him in the clinch a little bit. And some of that just comes with age too, because he's still growing. Like, I'm not trying to make excuses, and I definitely don't want to take anything away from Paez, because I thought Paez, the way he was chaining stuff together was fucking awesome.
Absolutely.
But yeah.
All right.
Fun fight though.
It was a very good fight. We also had,
and to Blunderbuff's point, also, I wish Paez had made weight. It was a great performance, but that's an asterisk on the win for me. Yeah, it's true.
Solid. We also had another one of our Johan buddies, man. Johan Estupiñan versus Taiki Naito.
Yeah, going into the card, this was the one that I was like, this is probably going to be the fight of the night. My favorite fight of the night, at least.
Talk about a blitzing style.
God, tell me about it. And what a perfect, if you're fighting Johan, you want to be someone who can fight on the back foot. Like, because if you can't fight on the back foot against Estupiñan, you're going to get fucked up. Just because he blitzes at you. And
you don't know what he's throwing. So unorthodox.
Yes. And that's my biggest critique here was he would come forward, but he was rarely feinting. So it's like you don't know what's coming, but you know to react to it.
Oh, something's coming.
Exactly. Like whatever's coming, I need to be ready for it. If he was throwing a little bit more feints, and he did a couple times, and you would get Naito to react on it, because Naito was mostly like parrying shots. He was like swiping away punches before they got to him, right? And it's like, dude, if you can draw that out and then go, that's how you're gonna get him.
Yeah.
But if you commit 100% of the time, you can really help a counter striker like Taiki. And Taiki cracked him with the left hook in the corner. So sick.
Yes. Solid.
So sick.
What was it that left that dropped Estupiñan?
Yes. Yeah.
And then later on he drops him. Well, almost drops him with that stiff jab. Again, Estupiñan just coming straight in, and it was a quick jab. Boom.
Yeah.
But it was hard enough to stop him in his tracks. I thought he went all the way down and touched the ring.
You could argue that was
a knockdown.
Yeah.
They didn't. You have a clip?
No, I don't, unfortunately.
Oh, okay. No,
I did rewatch it though, and I think it was a knockdown.
I thought it was because I went back a couple times, like 10 seconds.
It's hard to tell.
10 seconds back, watch it. I was like, I'm almost positive he touched the ring, but he gave us a solid interview when we were there in person, so not a knockdown.
Yeah. Hey, I actually thought he won this fight now.
Just all bias all of a sudden.
Yeah, but he did win the third round, I thought. because he gets dropped at there. I think it was the second that he got dropped in, right? It wasn't the first. No, it was the
I
second.
don't know. I still think it was a pretty damn close third round. You think he
It was
edged it out?
close. Yeah,
Yeah.
and I think one of the judges did give it to Naito the third round, but I gave it to Estupiñan. He started finding a home for his shots. Naito's got a chin on him too, man, because he did eat some shots.
He did.
And we know Estupiñan hits hard.
The patience, though, the counter striking, right?
So good.
When you have a freaking Colombian tornado just
Yeah.
coming your way, dude, and he didn't look frazzled at any point in time. He did such a good job, and I was super impressed with Naito.
You know why he didn't look frazzled?
Why is that?
Like Anonymous says, I'm so happy for Taiki. He's a 1 OG and people started writing him off. He has fought a who's list in one, man. I mean,
Yeah.
you're not going to frazzle this guy. Let me just give you real quick. Let me pull it up. We got Mahmoudi. We got Kong Torani, Deduanglek, Superlek, Petchdam, Haggerty, Savas Michael. I mean, the guy has fought some killers, dude. And Estupiñan's a killer, don't get me wrong, but it's not like you're going to unnerve him.
Yeah.
And you can see that, being confident in that counter-striking ability against such a killer, like a sniper, like Estupiñan. Man, sick as hell. Chummy Boy says, going to happen eventually. Naito is good at controlling the exchange. Yeah. Yeah.
Very good. All right. And was that it, or were we going to cover one more? I can't remember.
Let's see. What do we have on the slides? Yes, we have one more. We'll make this one quick.
Talk about this one real quick.
Yes, I hope I don't butcher this. Dzhabrailov. Holy shit, man. This guy's a tornado. Look, Nicolas fought Cade in his last fight, his one debut. I was like, man, that's a tough out, man. I'd like to see him get back in there, though, and see, give him a shot. And they're like, yeah, don't worry about it. We'll get him back in there. And they give him another just tornado of a human being, dude. I mean, he comes out and is all gas, no brakes. He's landing shots. They get close. He gets a knee. He hits him hard. Vigna did stand his ground, but it was just too much firepower coming back. And eventually, Dzhabrailov hits him good, rocks him, shoots on him, and you're like, oh, this guy's good, dude. He's not just swinging and banging. He's like putting it all together, right? They get back up, cracks him again up against the ropes, drops him. I mean, Jesus Christ. Gets him to the turtle, and he's leaking blood as he's on the ground, and he hits him with a big one, and you see his corners right there, and he's like, ooh, has to dodge the blood splatter. And I got a screenshot of that one. It's the corner man in the white shirt as he's like, oh, shit. And then he gets the stoppage.
There you go.
Easy night for Herb Dean. I think he reffed 2 fights. So
and Herb Dean also, huh? He's like, one fight night, UFC 316, like one fight night. Yeah. Thailand. Let's go.
I'm sure one pays more than the Jersey Athletic Commission.
Probably, huh? Probably. All right. Well, hey, that was all. Those were all the fights we're going to cover. It was fun.
Yeah, I do. Real quick, UFC I do want to give a honorable mention. Dayuev, Jesus Christ, versus Akayev was a fucking sick fight too. A great fight for one MMA. I think both those guys' stocks go up in that one. If you guys didn't see that, I highly recommend it if you want to watch a back and forth banger. It was fun with grappling and striking mixed. It was very cool.
Nice.
But yeah, that's it.
All right. UFC 316 was covered. We also covered One Fight Night 32 as well. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. We had Anonymous, Blunderbow, Chummy Boy. Who else do we have? We had a lot of people, actually. I'm probably going to miss some folks this time, and I apologize. Austin, Rio, James, Ghost, of course, Math Prodigy.
I saw Coleslaw in there at one point.
Evie, Coleslaw. Look, we really, really appreciate this community. It always makes it a lot of fun whenever you join us live. And we talk fights together, right? So really appreciate it. And reminder, everybody, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell if this was your first time tuning in. If you don't like watching, if you like listening, you have other ways you could do that, right, Will?
Yeah, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube Podcasts if you just want audio, but YouTube's the way to go because then you could be in the chat, you could be in the show. It makes it a lot more fun for us. Having the back and forth, getting different opinions is very fun for us.
And different analysis sometimes, like our listeners point out different things sometimes that we didn't. So we're like, hey, that's a really good call, right? It just goes to show, man, like it's just so much fun.
Dude, it's so much fun because you can't know, nobody knows everything, and both of us, we know very little. So it's nice. when
have
someone
people
comes
drop
in.
off that actually know their stuff. I know, I love it. No,
Yeah.
but thank you everybody, and Will, shout out to you, bro, holding it down on the ones and twos in the background while Rich, the casual, was off. Well, I don't even remember what he's doing. I think he's spending time with family tonight or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
Play Magic the Gathering or Nintendo Switch 2, or I don't know what he's doing. Watching Lord of the Rings, all of the above, probably.
Yeah.
All of the above. But Will, thank you for holding it down.
Thank you all.
Thank you to everybody for joining us for another week of Story of the Fight.
Hey guys, this is Johnny Bella, one championship fighter, and you're watching Story of the Fight.